That, my friends, is the Atlantic Ocean, and this is the Sometimes Vlog. Yeah! Yes, it's a vlog that happens sometimes. This is the Atlantic Ocean we're looking at, everyone. The Atlantic Ocean. We started this road trip in Laguna Beach in California on the Pacific Ocean, and now we've made it all the way across the continent to the Atlantic Ocean. I have literally come from sea to shining sea, and crown my good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. See what I did there? See what I did there? Somewhere in my pocket here they are two seashells that I picked up in Southern California that are now going to live. They're from the Pacific Ocean. They are now going to live with the fossils of their brothers in the Atlantic Ocean. Listen, it's been really fun carrying you in my car for several weeks and almost forgetting about you multiple times. But now it's time for you to go home. We did it. So many shells on this part of the beach. A lot of stuff. It's crazy that each one of these bazillion shells represents a creature that used to be alive. Wait a minute, so this is a dead body. This is so unbelievable. I cannot believe I made it all the way across the country driving by myself. But I wasn't really alone because all of you guys came with me. I really, really appreciate each and every one of you. Or as they would say in the South, appreciate you. Look at all that water. Sure is wet, huh? Wow, how about that? But as fun as it is to get wet, we got some other stuff to see today. Now, as tough as it is to pry ourselves away from the beach, just beyond that scrubland here is the oldest city in America. Except those Native American cities that we saw earlier on the show trip. But forget this, the oldest city in America, Saint Augustine, Florida. Wow, look at this. This place is beautiful. You got the moss hanging from the trees, and you got the Fountain of Youth here. The Fountain of Youth? Wait. Well, heck yeah, it is. It's the Fountain of Youth. This is Florida's oldest tourist attraction, even older than Walt Disney World. This place sells itself as the landing place of Juan Ponce de Leon. De Leon is the Spanish explorer who found Florida in 1513 and named it Pascua, Florida for flowery Easter. I never really see a lot of flowers in Florida, but there is a lot of green. I probably would have named it the Place of Green, or in Spanish, La Salsa Verde. Nobody knows where De Leon actually landed, but later on, this guy, Pedro, showed up with 700 or 800 of his homies and set up a really neat campsite that later became the city of Saint Augustine. Well, according to some guy named Archaeology, this is the actual place where the Spanish first landed and set up camp. Of course, like everywhere else in the New World, there were already people here, Native Americans, chilling and doing their thing, and apparently they lived on this site for about 4,000 years. Us Europeans, we've only been here about 400. Basically what happened is the French were setting up camp in the Carolinas, and the Spanish were already down like in the Caribbean and in Mexico, of course, and they set up shop here because they were like, no, French people, you're not doing that. And then they like attacked them, and then the French attacked them, and they wiped the French out, and they were like, Florida is ours! We get all this humidity to ourselves. There were earlier European attempts to settle in North America, but St. Augustine is the first one that stuck, and that we have around today. I mean, the real city's only behind that fence over there. So if you're an Anglo or European American, you're like, heck yeah, man, this is where we did it! But if you're a Native American, you're probably looking around this place going, yay, they did it. It's pretty cool though that the chief part, no pun intended, of this archaeological park is a recreation of a Native American village here. Also located here is the replica of the first Spanish mission in the continental United States, right here, the mission of Nombre de Dios. Pretty sweet replica church with replica stairs and replica pew. Even a replica monk.
The church there is a little bigger, a little more ornate. They have
replica.
1600 is when they started. So if you get into further into the 17th century, they found foundation of what they believed was a church.
I always fall asleep in church. All of this is very cool, and it's very important history, and I love history, but I still have to get that out of the way first before we deal with what I really came here to see, which is the Fountain of Youth. The Fountain of Youth has been part of European mythology for like a long, long time. I mean, way back, even to the ancient Greeks. I mean, like white peacocks, it's purely mythological. It never actually existed. When Ponce de Leon was out here discovering La Florida, the reason was just to find out if there was any land north of Cuba and claim it for the Spanish before any other Europeans could get it. You know, just exploring. But apparently exploring for exploring's sake was just a little too much for people's brains to handle, and somehow Ponce de Leon's mission got mixed up with finding the Fountain of Youth. Well, some very genius people figured out, this place is in Florida. This place has water. Why couldn't this be the place where De Leon landed? And why couldn't this water be the Fountain of Youth? This is the moment I've been waiting for all my life. The fountain. Legend says if you drink from the Fountain of Youth, you will stay young forever. I don't know what happens if you're already old. Maybe you stay young at heart forever. This lady's telling everybody that, oh, it's only been the Fountain of Youth since 1900. They think it's because the Native Americans lived twice as long as Europeans. That's where the legend came from. She has to say that for legal purposes. This is our moment. This is our chance, my chance. I'm gonna be young forever. At last, eternal life. It tastes like sulfur. Back, you fools. I am going to live forever. I can feel it working. It tastes like eternal life. Yum. When these people came in, they were several hundred years old. Look what it did for them. Look what it did for this guy. I think I'm mixing up the Fountain of Youth with the whole Holy Grail thing from the Indiana Jones movie. But either way, this cannot hurt. No matter how sulfury it tastes. Remember, kids, no matter what anybody tells you, this diorama right here, this is exactly how it happened. Exactly how it happened. You know, the natives of this area were fascinating and their culture was super interesting. But I tried out a couple of my jokes on them, and I gotta say, as an audience, they were a little wooden. Thank you. I know. Thank you. I did it. I drank from the Fountain of Youth. I'm young again. I'm young. I feel so spry. Oh, my back. Eternal youth. Nailed it. Oh, here's a statue of De Leon right here. He was born in 1460 and died in 1800 because of the whole fountain thing. I don't know when he died. This place is gorgeous. Normally they have historic weapons demonstrations where they shoot cannons and things explode and go boom and get really exciting, but today somebody's getting married over here, so I guess we can't have explosions in the background. I don't see why. There's probably some dumb old wives' tale, like if you have a cannon exploding at your wedding, then your marriage will explode. You'd think they'd want to start things off with a bang. You know, blow everybody's minds with their love. Okay, I'll stop. They actually have a lot more cool stuff here at the Fountain of Youth, but I gotta be heading out because there's more stuff in Saint Augustine I want to see, and unfortunately, I'm only here for one day this time. What's going on over here? Well, these people all look excited. Oh, what better way to celebrate a Native American place colonized by the Spanish than with a bird from Sri Lanka, the peacock. I love these places. Oh my goodness, you can buy bottles of the water. I could stay young forever with all of this. I need it all. These and these, just in case. Look at that. You're practically giving this stuff away. Only 25 bucks for a whole box of eternal youth. You guys can't tell anyone about this. Time to go. Like I might have mentioned 15 or 29 or 100 times, Saint Augustine is the oldest city in what is now the United States of America. So of course they have the oldest wooden schoolhouse in America, and why wouldn't they? Just think, America's first detention, right in here. It's a tourist attraction now, complete with a gift shop. Now that's old school. Oh yeah, I went there. Ah, listen to that authentic colonial music. about 1 million historic buildings here and 1.5 million weird gift shops, so there's plenty that could keep me busy in St. Augustine. Well, I'd love to return here at a time where it's not Memorial Day weekend and not so crowded and explore more of the town, but while I'm here, there's at least one other thing I have to see. Those Spanish were no dummies. They knew if they were going to have a town here, they were going to need to protect it with a fort. And not just like a poopy old wooden fort. No. The Spanish were going to need something a little more stringent. No. To protect La Florida, the Spanish essentially built themselves a castle. This is the Castillo De San Marcos. Or in English, I'm pretty sure, the Castle of Saint Mark. And it's not just any castle. It's a castle with guns. Wow. That'll teach those pirates. Look at this. I'm basically walking around in the moat of a castle built from some kind of stone in the United States of America. It does not get much more Pirates of the Caribbean than this, folks. It really doesn't. You know what this reminds me of?
Your mother was a hamster and your father smelt of elderberries.
Is there someone else up there we can talk to?
No. Now go away, or I shall taunt you a second time.
This is a full-on Spanish fort, nay, a castle in the United States of America on the Atlantic Ocean, but very near the Caribbean. This was literally put here to protect their colony from, among other things, French and English pirates. The oldest masonry fortification in the continental United States. That is pretty cool. I would go inside, but it costs money, and I spent all my money on that fountain of youth water. Ugh. No, I'm just kidding. But even if I wasn't, I can't really afford the time because there's somewhere I have to be later this afternoon that I think you guys are gonna like. It's just pretty cool to be sitting here taking a look at what basically looks exactly like that Spanish fort inside of Pirates of the Caribbean in Disneyland and Disney World. And I was just thinking to myself, if Jack Sparrow was real, he definitely would have been to this place.
Johnny Depp?
Yeah, this place is super beautiful and just shot up to the tippy top of my to-be-continued list. I mean, do I even need to explain why? This is one of the most beautiful places I've ever seen. I really need to find out whenever the off-season for St. Augustine is and come back almost immediately. You know, I was thinking since I finally got to the East Coast, maybe I should just leave the car here, ship my stuff home, and just take a plane back to California. So this morning I called Hertz, who issued me my rental car, and I asked them, like, oh, how much would it cost to leave the car at the airport? Keep in mind that the total cost of the rental car for basically a month was about 500 bucks. I was expecting them to say something expensive, man. I was expecting like $500 or $1,000, but I was totally wrong. To make my rental a one-way rental and fly back, the lady said they would charge me $7,000 bucks. $7,000? I could buy a car for $7,000. Sorry. Didn't mean to disturb any of you. $7,000? Anyway, for understandable reasons, it's safe to say I'll be driving back to California. So it looks like this isn't the end of the adventure after all. Although this will be the end of the adventure someday. Although, to die would be a great adventure, but to live would be, let's get out of here.
My, oh my, is Florida ever flashing? Look at all these trees and cars. Where the heck are we going? Are we there yet?
What? Come on, you knew this was gonna happen. Disney World, yeah! To be honest with you, Disney World was not on the agenda at all, but the other night while I was sleeping on my friend Keith's couch, I got a text message from a very cool friend of mine who asked me if I wanted to spend a couple of nights in some very cool Walt Disney World hotels. And I was like, well, I'm almost to Florida, why not? I drove from sea to shining sea, so I'm pretty excited to take a rest and say Jumbo to the Animal Kingdom Lodge. Ooh, well, thank you. It's good to be back. This is my favorite Walt Disney World hotel, and here is why. I'm supposed to be checking in, but first, I just want to make sure I see some old friends before the sun goes down. There they are, my friends. Giraffes and zebras and wildebeests. All right, ready to check. It feels super surreal to be back here. Definitely my favorite. I stayed here with my son a few months ago, which feels like a lifetime ago actually now, which is probably my greatest Walt Disney World memory ever. And I also got invited to spend the night in the same friend of mine's suite last time, which resulted in me getting myself locked out of the suite when my name wasn't on this suite. I told that story in a vlog on this channel way back. It's like a 45-minute long video. You can go back and watch it if you want. In the meantime, I need to hotel and sleep well. So I'm gonna check in and then see you guys tomorrow. Invest.poor.spreadshirt.com, Patreon and Twitter too. Invest.poor on Instagram. If you subscribe tomorrow, I'll see you. Goodbye everybody, I will see you tomorrow. I drove from sea to shining sea. I drank from the fountain of youth. And now I get to watch this sunset.
The mythical wisdom of the white peacock will lead you to destiny.
We now know of the wisdom of the white peacock. We've seen too much. How will we ever go back to the place of where we were in our knowledge's heart before? I don't know. I don't even know what I'm talking about, so. Wisdom.